All right, cool. Corey, you got the Dallas Cowboys.
Alrighty, Dallas Cowboys. Starting off with coach. I don't think I've made it any secret. I don't care for Mike McCarthy. I don't think he's a great coach. I think he should start this season on the hot seat. I've never won for firing a head coach after one season, but I wouldn't have blamed Dallas for doing so last year.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Mo's the same way.
Yeah, see, this is the exception for me, not the rule like Mo. Uh, offensively, I think they've at least got the hard part figured out with Dak now that they, finally paid him. But they are seemingly going to be asking a lot of him this year. We'll see how he responds. I think the focus from most everyone and the talk is going to be about them trading away Amari Cooper. But personally, I think the bigger question for that offense this year is their offensive line. They've had guys miss time and just gotten very inconsistent play the last couple of years. When they were, having their most success, it was behind, the offensive line leading the way. We'll see what the line looks like this year. If it's gotten better, I don't know. Tyron Smith has been a stalwart on the left side for them, but is age and injuries finally catching up with him? We'll see. Obviously, the big question mark, can CeeDee Lamb be the guy for them with no Amari Cooper on the other side? And I think the talent is there with Lamb, and I think the rapport with Dak, I think he'll be fine. Buzz in camp has been Jalen Tolbert has kind of been flashing as a potential big play guy for them. They're going to need somebody else to step up in that absence, especially because with Michael Gallup getting hurt when he did, who knows when he'll actually see the field for Dallas. It sounds like they're looking to get Tony Pollard on the field more at the same time as Ezekiel Elliott. And I think it's a smart move and something they need to do. I'm a big believer of getting your best players on the field no matter the position. So if you have two running backs are two of your best skill position players, get them on the field, give them the football. But there's a ton of pressure on Mike McCarthy to make things work. And we will see if he can live up to that. You ask him, his ego, he thinks his system is capable of doing it. Well, time to show up now. Defensively, Michael Parsons is, the first and foremost when it comes to that defense for Dallas. He showed he can be a force on the edge for them last year. We will see how they choose to utilize him. Last year they wanted to make him more of a linebacker than an edge rusher. I think that's a mistake. We'll see if what they choose to do. Anthony Barr was a really interesting addition. I think they needed to get somebody else kind of on the edge with the kind of breakup that they had with what's his name that I'm now spacing on that went to Denver.
Gregory.
But Randy Gregory, and how they just completely dropped the ball on that signing. But I think this defense was definitely better last year than I thought it was going to be. I think it has the potential to be able to get pressure and be good as well. I'm really curious to see what happens to Trayvon Diggs as well. He made the Pro Bowl, had the big interception number, but was one of the most burned corners in the NFL last year as well. If he's not getting those turnovers like he was last year, do you end up potentially having to bench him if he's that much of a liability? It'd be quite the turnaround. Overall, there's a ton of pressure on the Cowboys to win this division. I know there's always pressure on Dallas. They always get a just inordinate amount of attention because they're the Cowboys, but they've got a roster that's good enough to win this division. They've got the talent. They're in a weaker conference. And again, always, as I said before, with the NFC East. And yes, losing a guy like Amari Cooper is a notable loss. That's going to get a lot of attention, but I think Dak Prescott is good enough to overcome that. I just don't know how much I trust Mike McCarthy. I think he thinks his system is better than it is. And I question his clock management. I question his decision making as a head coach, and I question his play calling sometimes. So I think Dallas should still win the division, but even getting into the playoffs, I don't know that I would expect anything from them. Depending on how bad the wild card teams are, they may win a playoff game, but when they run into a team like Tampa or Green Bay or someone like that, I would not pick them in that game. I still think they should go probably 11-6, but I don't necessarily say that with an abundance of confidence either.
Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy. It's funny. I was listening to a lot of people about him, and he's like a game manager, not really like. I was listening to Colin Cowherd and on his podcast or his show, and he was talking about how Andy Reid is a game planner, Kyle Shanahan is a whiz with the zone blocking, Sean McVay, he's just throwing all these offensive minds out there. The league's trending toward offense. And then you have McCarthy. So he's given the reins to Dan Quinn and what's his name? I just had it on my tongue. The offensive coordinator.
Kellen Moore?
Yes, Kellen Moore. So he's just managing the players, which it's good and bad, but I think you gotta, play call a little bit in this day and age. But I get understanding how you can manage, man. But we'll see if it works. It's just in Dallas, it's a lot of pressure, especially with Jerry Jones and what he puts out every year. So this happens every year with Dallas, But the chatter's been real quiet this year, not from Jerry, but the media. Usually it's Dallas has a Super Bowl roster. Watch out. This year it's kind of like, do they? Are they going to win a division? So we'll see. Dak Prescott, I like Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott is a great quarterback, and I think that's only reason why they're going to win games this year. It's because of Dak Prescott. And I think he's a great quarterback, the best quarterback in the division. He deserves all his money. But we're going to see real quick what I think Dallas should have focused on. And I don't know if the Amari Cooper trade's going to hurt them. I think he can overcome it, but not surpass it. That makes sense. So Ezekiel Elliott, the running back, I love Zeke, man. I love me some Zeke, guys. I know I'm a Commanders fan, Washington football team. I do. I like Zeke, man, but I think that's just the life of a running back. And I think he maximized it. I think he balled out for what, like 3-4 years. I just think it's hard. It's hard for running backs. And I'm glad that he's in shape. But I think that they need to manage him and Tony Pollard. I know people want Tony Pollard to get the ball more. I think, I think you should have a balance to tackle both of them, if that makes sense. Like, I think, if you run the ball 40 times, I think Zeke gets 25 and Tony Pollard gets like 20 or 17. I think you keep it really close. I don't know if Tony Pollard could be ready for a starting role, but if I have Zeke, I want to keep Zeke a little bit fresh. I want both of them on the field at the same time. Tony Pollard's a good receiver. That's just my opinion. I know some people are like, "Oh, just cut Zeke and let Tony start." It's like, yeah, but then what if Tony gets injured? It doesn't make sense. You have Zeke Elliott, even though he's downtrending, he's still running the ball. They run him. It's the NFL. He wants to run, play running back, run. Like it does anyway. So the receivers, Amari Cooper, I think is going to be missed. God, listen, CeeDee Lamb, is he going to be a number one? We're going to see. His potential to be it is different being number one receiver as Juju Smith-Schuster. It's real. It gets real out there, man. Being a number one is, we could say Amari Cooper was declining, but he was a number one. He was a number one receiver. He saw doubles, He got game planned around. So we'll see if CeeDee Lamb is going to take that next step. Michael Gallup's going to be out for a while. Listen, Noah Brown's been doing good, but James Washington's hurt, and they got Jalen Tolbert. Here's the problem. If CeeDee Lamb misses time and Malcolm Gallup isn't back, that's going to be tough. You're almost in a Green Bay situation. So when I said, can Dak overcome it? We know Aaron probably can, especially in the regular season. I don't know if Dak can. We'll see this year. He's definitely going to be tested. And they got Dalton Schultz as the tight end. He's probably going to lead more Dalton Schultz this year than ever. Offensive line, they got the first pick. Hopefully that he can play. But Dallas loves the O-line. So I'll never get mad for picking an O-lineman if you're Dallas, because it's just that's their go-to. They're good. Now, if you're an O-line, if you pick an O-line and you're another team we're gonna get to, that was wrong. But so I kind of like their pick, and I like their O-line. It looks different. So as long as Tyron Smith and Zach Martin stay healthy, they're gonna have a great O-line. The defense they're good. DeMarcus Lawrence. They also said watch out for Osa. Can't pronounce his last name, but he's been doing phenomenal in camp so far. He's very versatile. I agree with Corey. I do think they should have kept Randy Gregory. Because if DeMarcus Lawrence doesn't stay healthy, I mean, I guess then you have Markham Parsons that can't rush the passer, so you'll be okay. Vander Esch just came into camp phenomenal. I think he's trying to play for a contract because they didn't give his fifth-year option, and he came back on a one-year deal. He didn't get a lot of offers on the market. So I think that he came in shape healthy, and he's probably going to ball out this year. Of course, Micah Parsons, once-in-a-lifetime generational player. That's all. I mean, there's nothing to say about it. He's a beast. Then I like the addition is Anthony Barr as a linebacker as well. The corners, Trayvon Diggs shut down his Twitter because he got burnt at camp. I get it. You want to be focused. It looks like you'll be in your feelings a little bit. But here it goes, like Corey says, when you get into this game of where you're gambling too much, you're gonna pay off. Whereas Jalen Ramsey gambles, right? And Xavier Howard probably gambles. Well, their recovery speed is better and their technique is better. But Trayvon is I think he just needs to work on his technique. So hopefully he's done it in the off season. Because I think he has good talent. I just think he needs to tweak his game a little bit. That's all. Overall, listen, the 17 penalties were not good in the preseason. The 11 penalties were not good on offense. It's kind of like the same thing carrying over. And when you have a team that you want to be good or great, you have to have discipline. You have to have discipline if you want to be good and great, anything you do, no matter what. But if it doesn't start with the head coach, then it's going to break it down. And I do have the Eagles win the division. I do have Dallas up there, but this is the first year I don't think they make the playoffs, man. I think they go 9-8. I think it's Jerry's going to be mad. He's going to fire McCarthy and try to get Sean Payton. All right. Mo, Dallas Cowboys.
Mike McCarthy. I think it's not like Jason Garrett's situation. I can't call it Jason Garrett's situation, but it's unfair, but it's warranted. It's part of the job. He's a leaned up coach. I mean, I think it's more from a standpoint of them winning the division is not enough. He got to at least get to the NFC Championship game or more for him to keep his job. If the Eagles win the NFC Championship game and Dallas make the playoffs, then it becomes how far do they go. If they get put out first round again, I see him get fired Black Monday. I see him get fired automatically. I mean, not Black Monday, but the next day. From an offensive standpoint, I know a lot of the podcasts I've been seeing, they're putting on Dak to see if Dak can carry a team with less talent. And it's bad because with the talent they have, it doesn't fit the expectations that what they put on the Cowboys. From a wide receiver standpoint. It's like, even from a running back standpoint, like you want them to make the NFC Championship game, but I love CD Lamb to death, but he's not number one receiver. He's not number one receiver. He's a good receiver, but if you talk about him being the number one guy to help you win games, to help you win a championship, no sir. No sir. He's not that. He's not that. Now you go to Gallup. Gallup's not that. So now you're talking about both of the receivers you counting on to win games or win championship are both number 2, number 3 receivers. Now next dude is what, a rookie? I think next best receiver is what, a rookie? Because the dude from Pittsburgh, he out for the season, right? Or he out for a couple of weeks. James Watson.
Yeah, he's out for.
Yeah, he out for a while with a foot injury. Yeah, he out for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, he's out for a while.
So it's bad. Depending on how you use Zeke and Pollard, I think it'll work because they both motivated. I think Zeke motivated because everybody be like, he's done. And then Pollard want to go out there and get that money. You know, now you see how everybody getting this money, you're going to go out there and ball out. So, defensive-wise, I mean, shoot. I mean, I think that's going to be great defensively. I think it's going to be all right. They're going to keep him in games because Parsons is a baller. You know, Diggs takes chances, but he cut off half the field. So overall, I see Dallas 10 wins at the lowest. I mean, so it's going to be a battle. But I honestly think, me personally, I hate to say this, and I want us to win the division, but I honestly be surprised if Dallas don't win the division. If Dallas don't win the division, I can see heads rolling off the top. I can think it'd be a quick, swift move. I think motivation is a great factor in football. I think Dallas going to be motivated, all this stuff in the off season. Oh, Dak ain't worth it. Oh, the head coach, Sean Payton coming. I can see them. I can see them going on a run and use that as motivation. So I honestly pick Dallas to win the division.
Okay. All right, Craig. Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys, obviously, every year there's expectations on the Cowboys for whatever reason. I think a lot of times the fans and the media put on them, you know, because a couple years ago they were 6-10. I know they only lost the division by a game, but like every year the fans say they're going to the Super Bowl, they're doing this and all that, and it's just the fans are just annoying. So I do agree with Stephen A. Smith there that the fans are really annoying. Like I don't have a problem with the team per se, but the fans are just extra. But Coach Mike McCarthy, I think he in Green Bay he had Aaron Rodgers and he had Brett Favre. Did he have Brett Favre? think he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
So yeah. So
He did.
he had a good
He's had some good quarterbacks.
yeah, he had two of the best quarterbacks there. So obviously
He got Dak too, man.
yeah, I guess. But you look at his record.
Coaches will love that, Craig. Come on,
Okay,
man.
that's cool. You look at his record, and his record in Green Bay was really good. And then he comes to Dallas, and he's only 18-15. And that season they had a couple years ago, they were 6-10. They lost the division by a game. Washington was 7-9, so they were right there basically. If you want to count that, I guess. But last year, they turned it around, went 12-5. The defense was a lot better compared to 2020's defense. So Mike McCarthy, anytime you're taking over the Cowboys or you're in the Cowboys organization, whether it's a coach, whether it's a player, anybody, like any type of higher position or whatever it is, GM or anything. Well, they don't really have GM, but any type of position that you're with the Cowboys, you have high expectations. This is for whatever reason, this is the expectations that are with this team. I don't even know why they're popular. It seems like they're just living off of the 1990s nostalgia, basically, of, I don't know, almost 30 years ago. So whatever. So they definitely have the hype for them every single year. But I think McCarthy, once again, is going to be having to deal with the same issues that he's been dealing with the last couple of years, which are penalties and terrible clock management. Last year in the playoffs, at the end of the game with the Dak Prescott and the whole thing, like that's terrible clock management. That falls on the quarterback, but also falls on the coach. And then the penalties falls on the coach. Like it's a discipline. Got to start finding some of these guys are doing something, and maybe they'll figure it out. Like you can't keep getting. They had 17 penalties. I know it's a preseason game, but that's crazy. Dak Prescott, the quarterback, obviously starts with him. He got his money a few years ago, so now he's got to try to prove it, and he's got to make something out of nothing because his wide receivers. I'm pretty sure they're kicking themselves right now after they traded away. Can't think of his name to Cleveland.
Amari Cooper.
For peanuts, basically. And now you got Gallup hurt, and they lost Cedric Wilson, so he's not there anymore. They got James Washington, but he's hurt. He just got hurt Monday. So who knows when he's coming back? I mean, same thing with Gallup. Who knows when he's coming back? So I mean, you got players on this team that I know there's still some guys out there that can probably sign some free agent wide receivers or whatever. I know Julio was out there for a while. I kind of thought they would take a stab at him. They didn't, but it's still some decent guys out there. Some vets that have done. I think
Antonio Brown said he wants to come there.
See, that's a headache, man. I don't know if you want to deal with that. If he turned up on Tom Brady, imagine what he would do in Dallas. I just don't think I don't think any good and there's a situation for him at all. But I think Dak Prescott's going to have his. This is going to be his toughest season. He's going to have his best season this year. It's just going to be difficult for him, especially starting out the season without two of your top three wide receivers. It's just not a good look for him to come into the season dealing with these issues, I guess. Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard, I think they could be a top 5 running back duo. Zeke Elliott's production has been going down. Tony Pollard looks like the better running back, but you paid Zeke Elliott all this money, so you got to get your money's worth from him. And a lot of teams, for the most part, have gone to this 2-back system. It's not just one guy, unless you're like Derrick Henry or something like that. You're not taking pretty much 95% of the snaps anymore. So, Zeke Elliott could get 70% or 75%. Tony Pollard could get 25 to 30% of the carries, and to be perfectly fine. I think they both have home run potential. Zeke Elliott is just going to have to stay healthy. So that's one of the big keys there. I do like Dalton Schultz though as a tight end. I know they lost Blake Jarwin, so he's going now. So it's just pretty much all Schultz. That's another receiver that Prescott doesn't have anymore. The offensive line has 2 of the better players at their position. Smith as one of the better tackles, and Zach Martin is one of the better guards. So I know they lost Collins and Williams, but the offensive line should still be decent enough as long as nobody really gets hurt to make plays for this team and keep Dak up on his feet and protect him and make some holes for Zeke and Tony Pollard. So on the defensive side, though, you know, you got DeMarcus Lawrence agreed to a new deal. They went out and they signed Anthony Barr, who should be solid, I guess, for the linebackers. Dante Fowler's another one. Vander Hersch, who can't never stay healthy, or Vander Esch, who can't ever stay healthy. You know, but he's a talented guy. If he can stay healthy, he's really good. They lost Randy Gregory, obviously. So you know they so the middle of the group the front seven should be okay if they can just get some type of production, get that pass rush like they did last year, especially with Parsons. We've seen it where a guy like Chase Young, who had a really good rookie season, and then the second year he had all the hype and all the pressure on him and expectations, and he just didn't live up to it. So kind of hope that Parsons does live up to these expectations that he put on himself. And that, I mean, anytime you go to the Cowboys, you have expectations anyway, but like these expectations that he has on himself from last year, if he can go back and redo that and probably up it this year. So that's definitely there for him. And I think with Vander Esch and Barr and Parsons, that group right there alone should be enough to wreak havoc on quarterbacks and stopping the run as well. Anthony Brown is back. Trayvon Diggs obviously had a really great season as far as takeaways, but he got burnt a lot last year, taking a lot of chances. So I'm pretty sure he's going to probably do the same thing again this year. I don't think he's going to just change after 1 year. So I kind of see him being aggressive and taking chances and also getting burnt. I mean, he's probably going to pick you off every now and then, but he's a guy that's going to bite on moves. He's guys that's going to just try to pretty much just take the ball away, and he's going to get burnt a lot. I do like the Malik Hooker signing. I really wanted Carolina to go after him for the safety, but you know, Dallas beat everybody to him. So Dallas really didn't. To me, they didn't go out and they normally Dallas kind of make like a splashy move, like a big name, like Von Miller would have been somebody who I thought they would have got, or Smith from Green Bay, Zadarius Smith, somebody like that, Honey Badger. But they didn't really go out and they didn't sign like a big type name, like a big splashy name. Julio Jones is another one who I thought they might get, but hasn't happened. So I think they're not really flying under the radar because it's Dallas, but I mean, they're kind of low key this year and they're just going about their business. But I just don't, I don't think they're going to win the division. Dak has a lot of pressure on him. I think the defense is going to be pretty much the same. They're probably going to be up there in the top 3, top 5 in takeaways again, like they were last year. The problem is his penalties is going to still bite him. I just don't see how that's going to go away. And obviously clock management. I mean, this has been bothering McCarthy for the last couple of years since he's been in Dallas. So I don't think that's going to go away either. So fortunately for him and for the Cowboys in general, they have an easy NFC. But yeah, I got him going 10-7. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to make the playoffs. I think the Eagles win the division. I think they're going to be there though. Probably like Minnesota or something like that. So 10-7.
Interesting points.